Brother Smith would be just set like this, you know. And I walk in the back door, there's a little girl, kind of real dark. She was sitting in the corner, she started clapping her hands, saying, "Lift him up." That song, you know, they put their own melody to it, you know. And then over next corner, be somebody else says, "Come in again, lift him up." Well, that's what they'd sing when I come in the door. I just love that bunch of people. And so, old Brother Smith sat back there a little bit, you know, and he's kind of a quiet sort of a fella. He'd say, "Come in, Elder, rest your hat." Not rest yourself, rest your hat. "Come in, Elder, rest your hat." And he'd get up there, and I'd tell the way he started off. I was in for it. He'd say, "Well," as he says, "children, you know," as he said, I was sitting here just wondering, Lord, what you going to give me to say?" So he kept shaking his head at me. "I ain't going to give you nothing to say." I said, "I seen Elder Brand walk in back there." I said, "Now, Lord, I just begin to remember." Well, I was right in for it. Brother George Wright, how are you?
Oh, good.
Bless you, Brother Wright. Certainly.
Brother Lige is back there.
Oh, is that right? Brother Lige Perry says back here. Where you at, Brother Lige? I haven't seen him in a long while. Now we ought to have a real meeting here. Lige Perry, George Wright, and some of them old-timers that used to be here when they'd almost have to hold the shutters on the place with their hands, the wind blowing. Good seeing you. Sister Wright with you. Sister Wright in? She's back there, too. Yes, sir. Well, Sister Perry, I see them all now. Well, that's really fine. Good to be in. It's good to sit in these places. It's good to be together. I'd planned on so hard coming back, burdened in the heart. I just returned from Africa, as you all know. And when I got over there, I had a restricted visa and wouldn't let me preach. Because it gathers too many together, they're expecting an uprise there at any time, and they wouldn't let me preach because of that, gathering too many people together. The only way I could was have some organization that's represented by the government, in the government, to invite me over, then that would automatically let the government send out a militia for protection. See, there's just going to be an uprise, and that's all there is to it. It's just right in hand. That government man said last time he's here, you had about 250,000 people together, and he said, then you see, I'd just be the very thing that communism is looking for an uprise. So I couldn't preach. And those people stand there waving their hands and crying, "Remember my mother, remember my brother," there and in behind a bar, you know, bars of wire, and it just makes you feel real bad. And I come back home, and I thought, well, my son Joseph back there had let down a little bit in his reading, and he passed all right, but he had to take it over. He wasn't reading good enough. So I thought, well, we're going to have to stay home a little while. And I said, if we stay home, it's going to ruin the kids' vacation. So we just postponed it and take him over to another part in August and come back here for a couple, 3 weeks. I said, I believe while we're back there, I'll just take and hold a meeting. We get that school auditorium up here, and we'll have a meeting from the 28th on through to the 1st, a meeting at the school auditorium. I want to preach on the subject of the outpouring of them 7 last vials.